Time Warner Cable is pleased to be an underwriting sponsor for Carolina Week.
Someone's getting a ticket. It's happening more and more, right? You may be surprised by our special investigation.
And why are these students camping out in boxes? We'll explain.
Plus, can we expect a lot of touchdowns in Kenan Stadium this fall? Sports gives us an analysis.
And the bacon sure looks good, but you better watch out. I'm Preston Jones.
And I'm Kathleen Whitting. Carolina Week starts right now.
From the James F. Goodman Studio in the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, connecting campus and community, this is Carolina Week.
Are campus cops writing more parking tickets these days or fewer? That's a question we started asking months ago, and it took a Freedom of Information Act request to finally get the answers.
And those answers might surprise you. The number of citations is down, way down. But why? Alana Austin reports.
Park your car on campus during the day without a pass, and you'll get slapped with a ticket, like this one. We've all been there. Even though it seems like they're out to get you, you may be surprised to find out campus cops have been issuing fewer and fewer each year. According to documents released to us under the Freedom of Information Act, there are about 10,000 fewer tickets. There were 58,000 tickets issued from 2002 to 2003, but 44,000 from 2010 to 2011. Now that's after courts decided that money collected from these fines would go toward K-12 education, not the universities. It's as much as $1 million. The university is only allowed to keep 10% of the money for collection costs. Department of Public Safety spokesman Randy Young denies that the lower number of parking tickets has anything to do with the policy change, and more to do with the addition of gated lots. Can you tell me some reasons why there are less parking tickets now than before?
Yeah, it's really not having to do with each other. It's not really a correlation between the decision through the legislature and our policies with which we cite vehicles.
You can't get into lots like Swain Hall or Rams Head Deck without money or a permit, which Young says reduces the number of rogue parkers. Prices for permits, fines, and servicing fees are on the rise. A student permit to a gated lot, like this one, now costs $553, up from $464 in 2008. A pass to a non-gated lot now costs $421, but it was $353 in 2008. Another way the university will be making up for lost revenue is by charging students for parking after hours. Changes are expected to come over the next 5 years. In Chapel Hill, I'm Alana Austin, Carolina Week.
2 UNC students suspected tonight of having the mumps, but the health department is saying the risk for anyone else contracting the disease is low. The students have been isolated, and it will take 3 to 4 weeks to confirm the mumps cases. Symptoms include low-grade fever, muscle aches, headache, tiredness, and swelling of the face.
And another virus is taking a bite out of Apple computer users. More than 200 students on campus have reported problems. The virus is called Flashback. It captures private information like passwords and credit card numbers. The campus network will block you from the internet if the virus is detected.
Students are applying to UNC in record numbers. 6,000 more applied this year compared with 2010. And of those, the number of out-of-state student applications increased by 34%.
22,000 workers in the UNC system work under the State Personnel Act, but that may be changing. Those employees may soon be controlled by the Board of Governors instead of the state. Tonight, we show you how workers are getting students to help them fight back.
Junior Zaina Alsu says she's speaking out for thousands of state employees, some too scared to speak for themselves in fear of losing their jobs.
By the way, workers came to students with this. This is not a student movement. Workers really said, will you help us in organizing around this? And that's why we're doing this.
She's a part of Student Action with Workers, organizing protests in an effort to persuade the Board of Governors. A bill before the legislature would give the BOG a freer hand, making it easier to control employee benefits, including wages, work hours, holidays, and health insurance. Workers fear the changes would make it easier to fire them, too. Alsu says the group has reached out, but no one is calling back.
It's been a constant request. Please meet with us so we can work with you and tell you how these workers feel, and we have not received a response.
UNC System President Tom Ross wouldn't talk to us either, but is quoted saying, "We're not interested in taking away the rights of our SBA employees. Unfortunately, some outside groups have attempted to create that fear. What we want to do is create flexibility to do more for our employees. So when students and workers gathered at the board Friday morning, members told protesters the meeting was not open for public comment. The board did pass guidelines that will take effect if the legislation is passed, leaving ALSU still worried about SBA employees.
We really owe it to the people who make UNC possible to stand with them and say, we think you deserve to be respected.
Now that legislation could be included in next year's budget, which will be voted on in May. And another state proposal is causing controversy tonight on campus. It's over North Carolina's proposed Amendment 1, which would do more than just ban same-sex marriage.
Ross Maloney takes a look at what students are saying about the constitutional amendment.
Marriage is a right. We're separate but not equal. Stand and join my voice. Thank you.
Students at UNC are taking a stand on whether North Carolina should pass its proposed marriage amendment next month. Students like John Michael Watkins, volunteer coordinator for UNC Coalition Against Amendment 1.
It's really, about human dignity. Like, you're putting up someone for a popular opinion poll with legal ramifications is basically what it is.
The proposed amendment reads, marriage between one man and one woman is the only domestic legal union that shall be valid or recognized in this state. Watkins argues the broadness of the language precludes rights to same-sex couples and unmarried opposite-sex couples. But sophomore Brendan Madigan, who ran for Maryland Comptroller in 2010, disagrees.
It was never, no one who is in favor of this amendment wants to deny anyone rights, I promise you.
Another college Republican, Peter McClellan, argues just the opposite, against Amendment 1 in UNC conservative publication Carolina Review.
There is definitely a bloc in the conservative movement on this campus that is very much against this amendment.
McClellan says it's unconstitutional because it disregards the 14th Amendment, guaranteeing equal protection under the law to all citizens. Beyond politics, McClellan says he could personally experience the repercussions.
As someone who's bisexual, I'm very much torn about where I want to live when I graduate college. I hope that this doesn't pass so I can stay here because I really love it here.
Polls show Amendment 1 passing with 60% of the vote.
The best way I say above the cynicism is when someone says, whenever anyone says, it's probably going to pass, I say it's not going to pass because of me.
In Chapel Hill, Ross Maloney, Carolina Week.
Every year, students camp out in the pit to bring awareness about poverty and homelessness. Right here, you can see the students climbing into boxes, which were their homes for the night. It costs $30 to participate, and the money is going to help the unemployed and underemployed.
Just 25 days until those of us in the class of 2012 say goodbye to UNC. So it's senior week. The annual bell tower climb was scheduled for today, but it has been postponed until tomorrow. Seniors can climb the bell tower between 9 and 5. Also tomorrow, head out to the Ackland Art Museum at 4 for senior night. And finally, enjoy a night out on Franklin Street with senior bar golf. You can buy wristbands for $5 at the bell tower climb.
And speaking of graduation, several students were threatened with arrest for trying to occupy the pit. They were there to promote the alternative commencement ceremony. Students set up tents in the pit. Carolina Student Union officials asked them to take them down, saying they violated a rule against erecting a structure. When students refused to take the tents down, a police officer threatened them with arrest. The tents were removed.
That alternative graduation ceremony centers around New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg. And as it turns out, some Muslim students here at UNC might also take issue with the mayor and the New York Police Department for monitoring Muslim college students. Reporter Angela Farrington has the story.
Senior Ismail Khayyam has been part of UNC's Muslim Student Association, referred to as MSA, since his freshman year. He's one of about 100 active members.
I mean, from what I've seen, people have been pretty open to MSA.
That's not the case everywhere. The Associated Press say the New York Police Department regularly monitored MSAs at 16 colleges in the Northeast. Some colleges were outside their jurisdiction, like Yale, the University of Pennsylvania, and Syracuse.
If it could happen there, it can happen anywhere.
Here at UNC, you wouldn't think the student next to you is an undercover agent or police informant. You wouldn't expect police to monitor your student organization's website, and it'd be hard to believe that police are compiling surveillance documents about you. But that's exactly what the NYPD did to Muslim students, with help from the CIA. Khayyam calls it
a gross violation of constitutional rights.
Mayor Bloomberg says of the spying on Muslim communities,
we cannot slacken our vigilance. The threat was real, the threat is real, the threat is not going away.
Sociology professor Charles Kurzman disagrees.
The concern and public fear over Muslim American terrorism has far outpaced the actual level of radicalization and the level of threats that we've seen over the past decade.
He published a research study in February that broke it down this way. Last year, 20 Muslim Americans were indicted for planning violent terrorist plots, but those plots resulted in 0 fatalities. Compare that with 14,000 murders in America last year.
And law enforcement in general are trying to leave no stone unturned.
So far, the NYPD has found no proof of wrongdoing within the MSAs they've monitored, and we don't know if the surveillance continues. In Chapel Hill, I'm Angela Farrington, Carolina Week.
Well, you can see some crazy fashions on the runway, but have you ever considered wearing a trash bag? We'll explain next.
Connect with us online by liking the Carolina Week Facebook page and following us on Twitter at Carolina Week UNC.
Summer is quickly approaching and students are searching for summer jobs and internships.
The Southwestern Company is an option Carolina students have used in the past, selling books door to door, but it's an option that has gotten mixed reviews. Emma Whitman has the story.
You guys remember what the first thing you gotta do for approaching is?
These UNC students are being trained for their summer internship with the Southwestern Company. It's not just any internship. Charlie Wynn is training these students in the art of door-to-door book sales. Recruiting students for the job is the toughest sell.
If my dad had not have sold books, I have no idea if somebody would have been able to recruit me to do it, because I would have had this huge hurdle of trust of why would somebody go sell books door to door?
Some recruits share that doubt. The website southwesterncompanykTruth.com features testimonials from disgruntled recruits. A common grievance from the site is overly aggressive recruiting.
Their hands-on aggressive approach and do this or you'll fail at life made me not want to do it.
And Paisley thinks he has been successful.
In the fall, I'm going to be doing Teach for America. I'll be teaching for America, high school English. I don't feel like my decision not to sell books ruined my life.
The company is banned from recruiting at several campuses, including the University of Idaho, the University of Maryland College Park, and Harvard formerly. Not so at UNC. But for these recruits, they're hoping the decision to sell books was right for them.
And if you do that all summer and keep it simple with these words, you're gonna get endorsed, and you're gonna get good at selling books. Cool?
In Chapel Hill, I'm Emma Whitman, Carolina Week.
UNC is 8th among colleges for the number of students recruited by the Southwestern Company. Last summer, 75 UNC students sold books.
And are books being replaced? More and more books and textbooks now come in the form of ebooks. But as Tyler Ford reports, while UNC students are being attracted to all things electronic, that doesn't necessarily transfer to books.
This is the first year Dr. Jean Desai required her students use an electronic textbook for her biology classes. Desai says the $120 price is one of the reasons she prefers it.
The ebook costs about 60% as much as a new book.
An electronic textbook, or ebook for short, is the same as a print textbook but is online. Users can access the book on the publisher's website. Desai also likes to use these books because they're so interactive.
That says to the students, this is a note that Dr. Desai left for you. So they're reading along, and I can leave them a little note. In this case, it says, is this sexual reproduction?
Student Store's course materials manager, Kelly Hanner, says UNC was one of the first in the state to sell ebooks, but demand is weak.
Sales are less than 1%. It's a nice product, but it seems like a lot of students aren't comfortable incorporating those for their academic use.
One reason might be because ebooks are time limited. UNC senior and ebook user Tempest Head explains.
It's only given, I think you only have a certain amount of time on the e-textbook. I mean, you can highlight, you can flip back and forth through the pages as much as you want, but there's a time limit. You can only have it for up to a certain amount of days.
And you can't sell it back.
Absolutely not, because you get the discounted price up front.
Desai says ebook effectiveness relies on the subject you teach.
I think it's going to depend on, I think some disciplines will do it and some disciplines will not.
So while everything seems to be turning electronic, there appears to be some things students would like to keep old-fashioned. In Chapel Hill, I'm Tyler Ford, Carolina Week.
Well, it's that time to start shopping for summer fashion, and I can't say I've seen trash bags on anybody's must-have list, but after a sustainable fashion show sponsored by Couture Revolution and QAB, you just might. Student models in the Forest Theater showed off the designs of 6 UNC students, featuring clothes made of recycled products, like this dress made entirely from grocery bags, check that out, or this top made out of magazines. Models also wore upcycled products, meaning clothes made from used materials. The show featured pieces from sustainable boutiques like Twig to emphasize the importance of shopping local and building sustainable outfits.
Theater lovers at UNC got to enjoy Shakespeare in a non-traditional venue, Polk Place. Student group company Carolina performed Shakespeare's play, A Midsummer Night's Dream, over the weekend. The play started on the steps of Wilson Library and ended in the middle of the quad. Audience members watched the show while sitting in the grass.
Many of us drink milk whole or skim, but would you drink it raw? Some experts say raw milk can fight cancer and raise your metabolism, but North Carolina is one of 20 states where selling it is still illegal. Reporter Emma Vogelsinger has the story.
Mapleview Dairy Farm is just down a few country roads from UNC's campus. Roger Nutter is the owner.
We started bottling our own milk in 1996, but we've been a dairy farm for 6 generations.
But business has changed since the 1920s. Small dairy farms like Mapleview have struggled to compete with corporate farms. That's why in 1996, Mapleview started pasteurizing and bottling its own milk as opposed to selling it to a co-op.
It's a matter of being able to keep on existing and making a profit, because it was either bottle our own milk and sell it or sell out.
But only a handful of dairies in North Carolina can afford to pasteurize and bottle their own milk. Being able to sell raw milk would help. And State Representative Glenn Bradley wants to make it legal despite resistance from big dairy distributors.
And it has not negatively impacted the corporate dairy farmers. So they're basically squabbling over pennies.
But it could mean more profits for dairy farmers here in North Carolina. Consumers who want raw milk badly enough have to buy it and transport it illegally over state lines.
You're going to bring a lot of that business back home to North Carolina that is currently out of state, and you're going to stop making criminals out of people that just want to get raw milk for themselves.
But there are risks. The FDA says raw milk can carry dangerous bacteria like E. coli and Listeria, and over a period of 10 years, raw milk consumption caused more than 800 illnesses and 2 deaths. So are the risks worth it? Some small dairymen think so, and it certainly could help them to profit more. The issue rests in the hands of the North Carolina legislature. Reporting to you from down on the farm, Emma Vogelsinger, Carolina Week.
And you may not be able to buy raw milk, but soon you will have more dairy options. Frozen yogurt right here on campus. The bottom corner of Lenore is undergoing renovations to build the new frozen yogurt shop Freshens. What used to be a convenience store will now be a new spot for frozen yogurt, smoothies, and sweet treats. UNC students can look forward to trying Freshens starting this summer. This means Jamba Juice will be leaving, but the space will be used for extra seating.
Preston, I, for one, will not miss Jamba Juice because I prefer biting into a juicy cheeseburger. But bad news for us meat lovers.
What'd you eat for lunch? A recent study reports meat eaters may increase their risk of chronic diseases and worse. Health reporter Erin Holcomb has more.
Smells good. It could kill you, though. That's what researchers reported in the Journal Archives of Internal Medicine. Researchers monitored diets of 120,000 adults for almost 30 years and found those who ate red meat increased their risk of cancer and premature death.
Just the bacon, egg, and
UNC senior Patrick Spall eats red meat every other day.
And that's a double burger. I just think about I'm on the mood for a hamburger or tacos or, bacon in the morning. So never really think, oh, that's red meat. I probably shouldn't have that.
So how does Spall compare to those who don't eat red meat? Let's break down the numbers. Consider 2 individuals of the same age, same weight, and who exercise equally. Except person A eats an extra serving of red meat every day, unlike person B who doesn't eat red meat. By eating 1 serving every day, person A increases the risk of dying by 13%. And eating processed red meat, like 2 slices of bacon or a hot dog, increases the risk of dying by 20%. Red meat is also linked to heart disease. UNC epidemiologist Ka He explains.
It's a type of fatty acids we call bad fat, which will increase your risk of cardiovascular disease.
But the good news is, if your diet is high in red meat, you can still lower your risk of premature death. The study found eating a daily serving of nuts instead of red meat lowered your risk of dying by 19%. So the next time you're thinking of this, you might want to think about this. In Chapel Hill, I'm Erin Holcomb, Carolina Week.
Well, it's looking a little dreary. We'll let you know if you need your umbrella this weekend. Meteorologist Tom Miners has weather next.
Congratulations. I'm sure you'll have many happy years here. Except for you, because you'll be gone 3 years from now, struck down by the same disease that got your father. Sadly, it could have been detected early with a simple test.
For a list of tests every man should have, go to ahrq.gov.
Listen to Uncle Johannes. Eisenbrahms make you grow up smart and successful so you can be a doctor, lawyer, handsome, genius composer. Like me.
Feed your kids the arts. Visit AmericansForTheArts.org.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm meteorologist Tom Miners at the Carolina Week Forecast Center. We're looking at a few of the headlines that are coming up right now just to give you an idea of what the next few hours are going to be like. We will see some of those rain showers start to linger on for a few more hours tonight. You haven't seen them yet. They're still further to our west, but we will have a warm-up soon coming also. It's been a little bit cooler than normal lately, but that's going to make for some mixed weather coming into this weekend. If you have some plans, you might want to change those just a little bit. All right, so for a fast forecast, you can see at 8 p.m. tonight, we're going to have a temperature of about 58 degrees, and it will be overcast skies. Later towards midnight tonight, we will have some of those showers start to come in, and temperature of 54 degrees. And then by the morning tomorrow when you wake up, it'll be into the low 50s. So we will have some of those lingering showers just be around there just for a little bit. Now, as we look in our radar, you can see in North Carolina, most of those showers have been to our west. They're slowly progressing eastward, and we're going to start to see that as we progress into this evening. But for now, most of those showers are to our west. Not any thunderstorms right now, really just some moderate to light showers out there right now. You can see where we are at UNC too. We're having a few scattered showers come through, but we will start to see those later this evening. Now on the surface map, I'll show you why we're seeing all those showers. Most of the area is seeing that high pressure, which is wanting to clear the skies a little bit, but this stationary front, which is moving right through the southeast, is bringing those showers at a very slow pace. That's why we haven't seen them quite yet. By tonight, you will see those showers start to creep in, and then into tomorrow morning, you'll see that low pressure start to bring some of those showers closer to our area and start to leave by Friday and to Thursday night. For the highs tomorrow, we're going to be in the low 70s, a little bit cooler if you're in the mountains. And in the eastern North Carolina, we're also going to see similar conditions, low 70s for the highs tomorrow, 71 in Chapel Hill, 76 in Lumberton, 73 in Goldsboro, and 73 in Wilmington. Now, for a tonight forecast, it's going to be mild, 52. You'll need the umbrella or the rain jacket. And by tomorrow, you can put that away after the morning. We'll have some of those showers just linger in the morning at a high of 71 tomorrow. And they'll be coming to be a little bit clearer actually in those skies later in the afternoon. For our 5-day forecast, you can see the best day for this weekend is definitely going to be on Friday. We're going to have a nice sunny day on Friday, mostly sunny skies with a high of 78. Saturday and Sunday is when we'll have a chance to see some of those storms come in. Saturday is one of the greatest chances for thunderstorms. And then by Monday, you'll have a nice day, but mostly cloudy skies with a high of 67 degrees. So, if you have weekend plans, you might want to watch out.
Ooh, well, what about tomorrow? Because I'm planning on doing the Senior Bell Tower climb when I get all the way up there.
It's going to be iffy. I mean, I would say that for tomorrow at least, we will have those showers clear out. You should be good by the evening. It's going to be nice and sunny actually by later in the afternoon. So I say you're good for a go.
Okay, and then Senior Bar Golf will definitely be clear for tomorrow
Definitely
night.
clear.
All right, thanks so much, Tom. Well, the spring game gave us our first look at the football team's new offense. Coming up, we'll check out some of the difficulties the team will face this fall, next in sports.
That's low.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds. Stop the texts. Stop the wrecks. Visit us at stoptextstopwrecks.org.
You didn't give up on sex. Don't give up on birth control either. There are more methods than you think. Find yours at bedsider.org.
When we come back to school this fall, a lot will be different, and that includes the football team's offense. Good evening, I'm Andy Reeves. But Larry Fedora and the Heels will be facing a lot of old challenges as well. Here's a look at what will be on UNC's plate next season.
New head football coach Larry Fedora says he wants to play fast. His Tar Heels ran more than 200 plays in Saturday's spring game. A quick pace, but was it fast enough for Fedora?
you know, for me, it was awful slow out there and sluggish in between the plays. I mean, so we've still got a ways to go in understanding the tempo.
Starting quarterback Bryn Renner, who has been working hard to convert from the pro-style offense of last year to Fedora's no-huddle spread, was 23 of 28 for 295 yards and 2 touchdowns. Is that good enough for you, Coach?
You know, he probably needs another 40 or 50 practices, you know, under his belt before you feel comfortable.
If it sounds like Fedora is really pushing his team, it's because he has to. After the resolution of the NCAA investigations, Fedora is charged with beginning a new era of Carolina football, and just installing a new offense won't be enough to make anyone put the Butch Davis era behind them.
Just the offense itself is not going to do anything, but if Carolina can take hold of that offense and really score the kind of points and put up the kind of yardage that Larry is saying they can potentially, then yeah, it's an exciting brand of football to watch, and I think that makes people excited to come out on Saturdays.
But with a postseason ban staring this team in the face and scholarship losses in effect, Armstrong says this year is more about healing than moving forward.
Hopefully they play entertaining football, they get fans back in the stands, and they just kind of rebuild what has been lost over all the mess that happened the last couple of years.
That's a lot to put on Fedora and his heels. Will they be ready?
Yeah, I'll never feel good. You know, well, we made progress, I'll put it like that.
The Tar Heels begin their season on September 1st against Elon at Kenan Stadium. More news in football. Researchers here at Carolina have discovered that catastrophic brain injuries associated with full contact football are on the rise. The number of football-related brain injuries that permanently disabled high school players rose from 10 in 2009 to 13 in 2011. The researchers suggest the trend could be reversed with greater awareness among coaches and proper tackling and blocking techniques. From the gridiron to the diamond, the 6th-ranked Tar Heels continued their dominance at the Bosch yesterday against High Point. Carolina was held in check for 3 innings by the Panthers. There you see Chaz Frank thrown out at home, but they couldn't hold the Heels back for long. Carolina put 7 unanswered runs on the board to put the game out of reach by the end of the 8th inning. Here you see Adam Griffin driving in a run. The Diamond Heels went on to win 10-5. UNC takes on Liberty tonight at 6 p.m. at Boshemer Stadium. And guys, with that win last night, the baseball team 18-5 at home. Got that game tonight. I'm sure they'd love to have the fan support to try to make it 19-5.
And I was at the spring game on Saturday. I thought the football team was looking pretty good.
Oh, yeah, they looked good. The pace was up. You know, Larry, a little unsure about the pace. He thought it was a little slow, but I was amazed at the amount of plays they were able to get in.
Yeah, it looked good to me.
Tell me something about the hats. Were they wearing fedoras for Larry Fedora?
No, but they have started selling those at student stores. So, yeah, you should go in there and get you one. I think it would look good on you, Kathleen.
We'll have to check it out, Andy. Thank you. Well, Saturday's festivities weren't all about athletics. See how UNC made math and science a fun-filled family affair. That's next.
You have a story idea? Call Carolina Week at 919-843-8292 or email us at carolinaweek@unc.edu. If you have questions about this program, write to Carolina Week, Campus Box 3365, UNCCH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina 27599. Be sure to check out Carolina Week online at carolinaweek.org.
When some people struggle with their mortgage payments, they become frozen. But the people who take action are far more likely to get the most positive outcome. Call this free government program for the option that's right for you.
Up to 40% of businesses never recover after experiencing a major disaster. Make a plan at ready.gov/business.
While many of us were watching the spring football game over the weekend, some were taking their academics outside. The Moorhead Planetarium hosted the UNC Science Expo. There were demonstrations from all the major science and math departments and research centers. And it was mainly for our little Tar Heels, like that one right there. The goal is to get children excited to learn about science and complex issues like DNA and genetics. The planetarium is also hosting a sky watching session at Jordan Lake this Saturday night. Now, I doubt that little kid was interested in DNA or genetics.
He might be someday. Hopefully he'll at least come here. I think that's the goal.
Right. Well, As many of you may not know, this is our last edition of Carolina Week with me and Kathleen. We are graduating seniors, and it has been a pleasure, Kathleen.
It's been all right. I don't know. So we're moving on, but we hope you won't. Please stick around for Carolina Week. Next semester, there will be a whole new crop of us in here. And
for the final time, thanks for watching.
Good night.